I was brutally stabbed April of 1992 on my job. She took out a box cutter and began stabbing me in my head. It was pouring out so fast, they were trying to put towels there so the blood wouldn't flow out. One day I was on top of the world, and the next minute I was at the bottom of my life, trying to figure out if I was going to live or die. An employee worker stabbed me 4 times in my head over some money that she owed me for a suit that she was going to purchase. My boss heard the incident. She heard the argument in the office, and she said that she wanted to speak to both of us. So what we did was we got in the elevator. I got in the elevator. As soon as I got in the elevator, she took out a box cutter and began stabbing me in my head. When the elevator opened, blood started gushing out of my head. My boss immediately grabbed me as I was falling to the ground, and she pulled me out of the elevator. When she pulled me out of the elevator, she started screaming, "Someone call 911 right away." When I got to the hospital, I remember hearing my mom and the doctor talking, and the doctor telling my mom that she needed to sign some forms. The doctors were saying that if I lived, that I would be a vegetable for the rest of my life. I felt a severe pain as doctors were working on me, and they were stitching me up and they were stapling my head, and I felt all this pain. And so as I was being released from the hospital, the doctor again told my mom that I would need 24-hour care. And so my mom says, "I'm not putting her in any kind of care. I'm going to take her home with me." When I realized that I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk, I couldn't even chew, my mother would have to feed me through a straw. She would feed me juices and milks and liquids through a straw. And I was just so frustrated, just laying there feeling like a baby, feeling like a newborn child that couldn't do anything for herself. I didn't want my family to come around me, because when they came around me, they would say, "Is that her?" Because they couldn't even recognize it was me, because I looked like an alien from outer space. I mean, I was really at a point in my life where I just wanted to give up. I had lost all hope in God. I would cry out to God, and I said, "God, are you real?" And I would say, "Lord," I said, "if you're real, you're gonna have to heal me." I began saying that in my spirit all day long. "Lord, thank you for healing me. Thank you for healing me." And one day I felt the pain go away. When all the doctors gave up hope and said that I was gonna be a vegetable for the rest of my life, God said, "I'm your Jehovah Rapha. I'm your healer. I'm your God." Next thing you know, I started walking little by little, and I started getting my strength back. And I remember that I started moving my jaws, I started eating little by little, and eventually I was totally healed. He totally transformed me and healed me all the way back to normal. God has the final say-so in everything. When you feel like the doctors are giving hope on you, you have to realize there is a true and living God that can totally heal you and restore you back 100%. So don't lose your hope in God. That God that I serve is a true and living God.
Well, you have heard from 2 women with 2 incredible stories. They both exemplify the scripture in Romans 8:35. "Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us." Champions just think differently. They refuse to waste their energy and thoughts on their obstacles. Whatever adversity you are wrestling with today or tomorrow, you can be assured that you are never isolated from the love of God. Never give up during your adversity. Lamentations 3:21 through 23 says, "This I recall to my mind, therefore I have hope. The Lord's loving kindness indeed never ceases, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness.